Do you think bonds and/or regional banks are a good investment for the next couple of years? What type of bonds are you talking about? Are you talking about corporate bonds? Are you talking about treasuries? And what's your objective? If your objective is just to increase your purchasing power, no, I don't think either of those are. I mean, with the regional banks, again, you just don't know how this yield curve is going to play out. Now, if the yield curve was no longer inverted and it started to steepen, not as a result of the 2-year treasury going down, but the 10-year treasury going up, then I would completely change my tune. And if at that point the regional banks were still, let's just say, super cheap based on PE, then I would be interested for sure. But right now we're still at a massive inversion, which means that we're kind of in the eye of the storm as far as these regional banks. And I don't know how to quantify the risk. I don't know how to quantify the downside risk at all. So if I don't know how to quantify it, I'm not going to play that game. And then as far as bonds, uh, I'm not too interested in corporate bonds, although I'm always interested based on price. That's for sure. It's all a function of price at the end of the day. But I would assume you're talking about treasuries, the long end of the curve does not excite me. I know that if you were speculating, that may be a good speculation, but I don't like to play that game because you're just betting the price is going to go down. I don't think there's any argument whatsoever that historically bonds are cheap. That's for sure. Historically, they're expensive, if anything. Looking at the long end of the curve, the front end of the curve, I think that's interesting. That's where most of my portfolio is. But I'm not trying to make a capital gain on that. I'm just keeping my dry powder there just to get that 5%, which, let's be honest, I'm still just breaking even with the rate of inflation. So it's not really increasing my purchasing power. So why do I do it? It's just because it's extremely liquid. And I'd rather have that counterparty than the banks right now. And that's a bit higher interest rate than I think you get on most of those banks, especially the big banks that would be a lot safer.